The West has been manipulating international law as it pleases, depending on its agenda and its desires. The main principle in the UN Charter is article saying that the UN is based on the sovereign equality of states. There wasn't a single instance since the establishment of the United Nations. There wasn't a single regional or international conflict. There wasn't a single instance when the West used or relied on this principle of the sovereign equality of states. If you have any doubts, you can look through the history of diplomacy or international relations. There wasn't a single conflict when they respected this principle of sovereign equality of states, when the United States and its satellites respected this principle. So I call on all of you. So when we talk about the multipolar world order, about shaping it, we're not making up this reality. We are just saying, friends, there are some permanent principles that are enshrined in the UN Charter, but you have to use these principles not as you please, depending on your momentary considerations, by making constant U-turns, but you need to make sure that you follow these principles all of the way. This is what we're talking about, building a multipolar world order with a better justice. You don't have to do anything for this world order to take shape. It is happening on its own. There are new centers of financial and political power that are emerging. You look at India, look at China, look at Brazil, look at Africa.
All countries must respect equality of states and the right of people for self-determination. And they also mentioned the United Nations General Assembly resolutions, and this is clear that what they mean is the series of resolutions which they passed after the beginning of the special military operation, and which demand condemnation of Russia. Russia get out of Ukraine territory in 1991 borders. But there are other United Nations General Assembly resolutions which were not voted, but which were consensual. And among them is a declaration on principles of relations between states on the basis of the Charter. And it clearly says, by consensus, everybody must respect territorial integrity of states whose governments respect the right of people for self-determination, and because of that, represent the entire population living on a given territory.
Hello, good morning, viewers. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Achille, Michael, let's look at this surprise move. Russia moved to support Biafra. In a surprise move, the foreign affairs minister from Russia made it very clear to countries of the world, to UN, to European Union, that going forward, start respecting self-determination. We know that once you talk of self-determination globally, the first thing that comes to mind is Biafra and Nnamdi Kanu. How does it come to you, Mr.
You saw what the development already. Russia, Finland has severed ties, and of course, we are looking at Nigeria at the same time, no, because Russia is gradually building, another bloc within Africa, and having gotten some African countries, you can see what is happening now. Any month from now, Ghana is leaving ECOWAS. So many countries are leaving ECOWAS. So Russia is targeting a new bloc in Africa, and that is why you are seeing massive, support on issue that has to do with Biafra recognition, to be part of the Sahel revolution. So it is a done deal already. There's nothing you can do about it. In as much as the Russian foreign minister has acknowledged the Biafran charter that was delivered directly to Moscow, so it's a good one. And not only that, Russia too want to send a strong signal to Finland, given the continuous the trial of Samani Bada resumed on 30th May, the Biafra Day, which is very significant to the people of the Biafrans all over the world. So I do not know why the Finnish government, through the same day, over 6 million people were murdered to resume or to kickstart Simon Epa's trial. But that is the angle where people are feeling that Russia has already, to an extent, blocked their whatever diplomatic ties they are going to have with Finland, neither now or in the future. And Russia is continuing to sever that ties and continue to take a stand on the issue that has to do with Ukraine. So it's a good one, yes, because the deal will be properly stated. And there's one thing we must give to Vladimir Putin. Yes, Chinese interest in Africa, Russian interest in Africa, we liberate the neocolonization agenda that has been rooted by these people. They call colonial masters, talking about the man who's already spearheading, the European and the Western world, gang up against African rights.
Okay, now let me even bring this angle, because we have seen so many videos, not of Israeli citizens saying Igbos our brothers. The video is unending. I saw a video recently where the Jewish citizens were saying that they came to Nigeria to meet with their brothers, and unfortunately they were rounded up by DSS and apprehended.
Yes, of course. The fact is that the connection there is very deep. There's no doubt about it. And we have seen the history so far. And we also understand the need for us to recognize the people of the ancient Israelis that are called the Hebrews. The ancient Hebrews are blacks. And first has revealed that those ancient Hebrews are part of the people who are known or recognized as lost tribe of Israel. There is lost tribe of Israel. And because you look at the first invasion of Israel between Samaria and Judah, as at that time, the first invasion was by the Assyrians, present-day Syria.
Okay, but because of the area you just go, perhaps you're already aware, this is all over the media, that if you go to Israeli websites, they have Igbos in that website as the lost tribe of Israel, and it's very prominent in their website. How is the news of that country?
Yes, it has always been there, ab initio, and that is why you cannot find Israeli embassy anywhere in Nigeria apart from the eastern part of the country. If it this very moment, and Israel has continued to identify with the Biafran struggle. This also tells you that at any point in time, you see the IPOB members all over the world, even those who are celebrating May 30, you only see 3 flags there. You see Israeli flag, you see American flag, and you see the Biafran flag. These 3 flags signifies the brotherhood. These 3 ties signifies identity. These 3 ties signifies genealogy. These 3 flags signifies the source.
So what we are doing in NSS is sighting of Israeli embassy in Igbo land is strategic by Israel government.
Yes, it's strategic because
it's not by mistake.
Yeah, it's not by mistake because Israel is always prone to any form of attack anytime, and they need to locate their embassy in a place where it will be protected.
In the midst of their brother.
Yes, in the midst. That's what it means. It's the midst of their brother. So that was why they choose to locate their put their embassy somewhere in the east. But the fact we are something that we must take away from is that I remember when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu house was invaded, and after some time, where did we see him?
He made appearance.
He made appearance at the Western Wall. You know, and if you look at it, as I'm talking to you now, the present Israeli government, Benjamin Netanyahu, knows a lot about Biafra. His aides, his workers, both current and ex, has been speaking about Biafra in different fora. But anybody that is telling you that the Igbo, it's not even the Igbo that wrote that they are the Jewish people. Not the Igbos. The Igbos have the culture, a culture and tradition that was bequeathed to them by their forefathers. I can tell you, I can mention two in the Bible I know. I know of Ezra to be an Igbo man. I know about Jeremiah in the Bible to be an Igbo man. And I know the reason why, if you go to Uri, go and Google it. If you go to Uri Kingdom today,
I'm talking about archaeological.
yes, you go to Uri Kingdom. There's something that made them Eri and Uri. But they will not tell you. That is why you see the cross of David in everything they put on.
That even reminds me, let me even bring this angle, because in the declaration of Biafra that happened some time ago in Latin Finland, the Israeli citizen that spoke that day said what excited him is the Star of David in Biafra flag.
Of course, he's a very clear thing.
My brother.
Yes, of course, he's a very clear thing. They know how they can deny it. But you see, the people that came and said, these people are behaving like the ancient Jews. They are not the Igbo people that wrote it. It was the Portuguese that wrote it, not we. You know,
that is fact finding.
And people can cross-check, and that is why they decided to name the first kingdom on earth. To kill. See, that name Biafra did not come from the Igbo people. I don't know why people are just saying Ojuku, Ojuku, Ojuku. No, it wasn't Ojuku. Is significant to the first kingdom that houses so many kingdoms. The name of that kingdom as at that time is Biafra. People will not do this. They can't go and find out. You know. So, but what we're saying in essence is this: 3 countries that we will not sever our ties with already. Israel has given us that recognition already. You know, morally, verbally, and otherwise. And we know that we have the capacity and the ingenuity to transform Biafra and Africa. Just one nation, just one sovereignty called Biafra can do that. So, and we need to build ties. And Russia have shown a lot of interest. Thank God for what Russia is doing in Africa currently now, because they know at the end of the day that if Africa rises today, check out how many countries that are in Africa. Check out where, if those countries emerge a superpower tomorrow, because of, you know, they have decided to disarm themselves of this new colonization system. Today, and America as a nation have the power to decolonize any nation, to decolonize Africa. If they feel they can do it, and that is why, you know, you can see the build-up within Donald Trump. Everything is pro-Biafra.
I wanted to even ask you this, because Silence is a Vile, of course, who was a lobbyist to Nnamdi Kanu himself. His strategic position in Trump's government, I think it's a plus to his struggle.
But just to you know, alert you, Trump has just appointed another one, Mercy McCarthy, who is a childhood friend to Dr. Ngozi Obrabeze. You know, serving now currently under Trump administration. You know, so
what is bringing those all experts to Biafra?
The thing is that, you know, something that I think the congressmen need to have, you know, a clear fact check on Biafra. They need to do their finding on Biafra, and they need to start, you know, talking about diplomatic, you know, ties and solutions on how to properly, you know, recognize Biafra and make Biafra a sovereign nation, a recognized sovereign nation where the whole world will embrace. So these things, that is the reason why the Biafra Washington embassy was launched on the 30th of May, you know, yesterday, just very close to the White House there, you know. And what does that tells you? It tells you that, you know, that will be a closer channel for people to come close, you know, and begin to deliberate on diplomatic issues for how to handle about Biafra.
I wanted to even break that angle, because we have seen trending video, the launching of that Biafra embassy in Washington DC. This is a groundbreaking event. This is historic. This is iconic. Of course, Biafra has taken over.
Of course, every citizen in America and Europe and in West Africa and in the West precisely. That is where everything will be taken care of. Every meeting that has to do with diplomacy, relationship, sealing of ties, treaties will have to take place there, and that is why we have that embassy there. So it will help a long way to establish, diplomatic ties, diplomatic relationship, diplomatic discussions that will be centered on a proper way, to recognize and kickstart Biafra as a sovereign nation.
So it's strategic, and of course, it's going to be a melting point for Biafra activities going forward.
Yes, it will be celebrated all over the world. I can tell you the number of congressmen that stormed the Washington Embassy Biafra yesterday, to declare it, officially open. So Nigeria is already, upset with that revelation that happened yesterday, and so many things you can see what is actually playing around now. Biafra is getting popular. You can see, I can tell you, as at yesterday, 70 countries of the world, we are on the street of those cities, celebrating the Biafran Day. Spain, Italy, Germany, America, London, name them, different countries, different parts of the African countries.
It goes to show that the suffering of the hero parts of Biafra is not going in vain.
You know that the Biafran spirit has been resilient.
Refused to die.
Yeah, it's refused to die. That's what it means, and it also means that that the children of the oppressed have also risen, and until the recognition of that religion, Biafra has become a religion. Biafra has become a destiny. Biafra has become a hope. Biafra has become, something that the people feel that it is only going to bring source of life.
Not even as it's for American government to allow Biafra embassy in Washington DC, it goes to show the American government have practically recognized Biafra.
Of course, it's in line with the international law, and it's in line with United Nations Charter, and it's in line with what people tag, in a situation where we have political oppression. People can seek for self-determination.
But let me even ask this question. You know that UN, arm of UN, that is responsible for emerging nations of the world, have since recognized Biafra as an emerging nation of the world. We know that America is strategic in UN. Perhaps the American government will have played a pivotal role in Biafra getting that fit at that level.
Yes, you cannot rule out, because of the perceived, diplomatic role Biafra will play to America and Israel and other powerful nations in the future, and also that currently now we have only 2 English nations within the Francophone countries of the West Africa, so it's very strategic that they begin to look at that direction, considering the fact that Biafra also have the resources and the human power, manpower to be a nation and also export expertise at the end of the day. So having looked at it very well, and the fact that this will have what it takes, and not only that, Biafra can be independent of the Western interest, of Western influence at the end of the day. And these are the things these powerful nations are actually looking at, to say, okay, these people have gotten to this level and have done this in the past, and the people are everywhere. Then they cannot be from there. See, it doesn't take a difference, to wipe away anything that has to do with terrorism in Africa. They can do it. We saw how they stood against the whole world for 4 years, during the genocidal war, the worst ever in the history of the world. They defended themselves, but today the story has changed. The same people, that over 6 million people were killed, have risen, and they are still, on the struggle, because we know that Nigeria as a nation can never come up with the truth for one day. Yes, I thank God that some ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has come out to say that the Nigerian government run on propaganda and lies. That is just the picture.
I think I must let you go at this point. Thank you very much for your time. Hope to have you next time. Thank you very much.